Show topics are not necessarily
It's
the
new.
beliefs of this radio station.
Get ready for an hour of pure joy with the Joyful Life on Amazing 102.5 FM. Today we're talking with Amber Elliott, the Chronicle Society and Love Story writer, turned model in this month's Elle magazine.
I put that in there. I put that in there.
Is it all that?
I love that.
I wrote
So funny.
Okoro, with African Fashion Week.
Do we pronounce it right?
Which is happening this weekend.
Okoro.
Now here's Joy Sewing and me, Todd Ramos.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Joy Sewing.
And Todd Ramos, good afternoon.
Welcome to the Joyful Life. Remember, we are streaming live on our Facebook page.
Hello.
On the Joyful Life with Joy Sewing and Todd Ramos on Facebook, and also on the Amazing 102.5 Facebook page. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
I know, it's a great, beautiful day.
It's sunny out there.
It is sunny. It's a little humid, but
Okay.
you know, we can.
And
it's fall.
It's fall.
I know.
Second day.
I know, second day of fall. Who would know,
I actually got some sun yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, go figure. First day of fall.
I know, first day of fall. So how's the week been?
Very good.
Yeah?
Yes, my allergies kicked in.
Yeah. That's a good thing, a bad thing.
Welcome to fall.
Well, we have a great show. As you heard earlier, we have Miss Amber Elliott, who is a colleague of mine over at the Houston Chronicle. We have her in the house.
That's lovely.
I know. She is
Miss Elliott.
a society writer and love story writer. She is featured in the latest Elle magazine with Rihanna on the cover.
Ooh.
So we're going to talk all about that and just talk about how she, maneuvers through the society
So
world.
many questions about that scene.
I know, and then also talk about love and love stories, because I love a good love story.
I'm romantic.
You are?
I am romantic at heart.
All right. So we're going to talk about romance and love and all that, and then a little bit later in the show we have Miss Ivy Okoro.
Okoro.
And she is the communications PR director for African Fashion Week Houston, which is happening this weekend. And if you haven't seen it, I would urge you to check out one of the shows. I think there's a show tonight and a show tomorrow night. It's pretty amazing that Houston has such great talent and beautiful fabrics, and I was really blown away. So I can't wait to talk with her.
We have a lot of talent here.
We do. Hello, we have a lot of talent.
A lot
of talent.
So I can't wait to see some.
I know. All right, so we have some hot topics, and first of all, I want to just send my heart and felt prayers and sympathies to all the people in Mexico City. I believe they had another tremor this morning or yesterday, as after the 7.1 earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
And we had two colleagues who, one is a photographer, Marie, and Olivia, who is a reporter, who happened to be on their way to their fellowship that they were doing in Latin America, and were in Mexico City when the earthquake,
One disaster with another.
when the earthquake happened, and and they've been posting photos, and they've actually been doing a wonderful job writing about it, but I can't imagine being in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can't imagine. We had Hurricane Harvey that we just experienced. But it just seems like these disasters are happening more and
All
more
over.
and more. And I think Mother Nature's kind of pissed.
Saying something.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I just want to,
Don't want to mess with her.
let's just keep them in our prayers and be safe.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Speaking of Hurricane Harvey, now I had this conversation in the newsroom with Amber and a couple of my other friends, and you and I talked
Yes.
about it. This Harvey 15, the 15 pounds everyone gained doing Hurricane Harvey.
From liquor to food. I have been dealing with people because I have a fashion show and dealing with the models and dealing with civilians, and they're like,
Civilian. Okay, civilians. Explain what a civilian is.
Civilian's a non-professional model.
Okay.
And sometimes I deal with civilians in the fashion show, and I'm dealing with one, and they are all complaining. I gained weight. I need 2 weeks. The funny one was, I drank 15 pounds.
I know, but you know what? I think
Stress eating.
I've never experienced stress eating until the hurricane. And just being in the middle of it, in the newsroom, there was constant food, people around the country that were sending, newspapers around the country that were sending us food, and just being on edge, and I can see that. And
Well, it's stress eating.
Yeah.
We were cooped up for our days actually. And not only that, it's like a post-depression kind of thing too. I mean, there's a lot of psychological things going on, and so of course people are going to gain weight.
yeah.
So we need a little Harvey diet plan.
No, maybe we can get somebody on and talk about how to lose that Harvey 15. Huh?
Yeah. What was your go-to food? You can say it.
Wine and manchego cheese.
Ooh.
And there was some other stuff. Yeah.
Boy, you say that with such hesitation.
But you know,
I think a lot of people have wine.
All of us wanted comfort food. We just wanted something that was just comforting, and I, anything cheesy and warm and that kind of thing. So, and it was dreary outside.
Pizza.
Pizza.
I love me some pizza and wine.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So this week, there was a fashion show, Milan Fashion Week, and they were Versace was the reunion of the supermodels. So all of them were paying tribute. Actually, it's been 20 years since Gianni Versace was killed in front of his mansion in Miami. Can you believe
2
that?
decades.
I know.
Damn, that went fast.
I remember when it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so these models, Claudia Schiffer, Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, and Helena Christensen, all walked the runway to kind of celebrate the legacy of Versace and Donatella and everything. So.
They were stunning.
Yeah, I mean, it's
legs for days.
I know.
Still.
I know. And
all of them were hot.
And you work with models.
Yes.
And the fact these are legends.
Well, these were girls who were developed at a very young age, so their body has, very much developed and trained for that, and unless, they let it go. But they weren't letting it go, honey. They were on point.
Yes. And
Seriously.
Have you seen Cindy Crawford has a son? I think and her daughter model.
Her daughter looks almost just like her. She's
But her
stunning.
son just walked the runway, and it was pretty amazing, his look. And even he has the mole.
Wow, her daughter doesn't.
I know. No, doesn't.
I got a mole.
Okay, all right, whatever.
Anyway, those girls looked thebomb.com. They did. And did you see the photograph of them was awesome, hot.
Yes, we need to post that on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they looked amazing.
Okay, so our intern page is not in here, but she gave us this little tidbit about Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy is always going to give us some Chrissy. You know what I mean? She's always going to give us some sass and some just fun.
I like me some Chrissy.
I do too. So she put on Twitter, she needed some, I think she was cooking something, and so she needed some brown bananas. 4 or 5 brown bananas, like, really ripe bananas. So she put it out on Twitter and said, look, if anybody has any brown bananas, I will send my assistant to come pick them up, and you will get a signed cookbook. You would get a Becca palette, which Becca is a makeup line, and you will get a pair of John Legend's, her husband's, underwear.
Oh, hello.
I wonder if they were clean.
It doesn't matter. And she I love the flirtation that they have, and I mean, she even posted his booty online.
Did she really?
Yes, she did on Instagram.
Did you see that?
Yes,
I missed that.
She put his whole tush.
Was it a nice tush?
Yes, it was. So I just think they're so flirty and fun with each other, and how much of a response happened?
I don't know. Paige is not here to tell me this, so I don't know.
Demerit Paige. I would.
I know.
But she must have been doing something Cuban.
You think so?
Yeah, because normally.
Or banana pudding? No.
But she's a cook.
She is a cook.
She's a
That's
good
why
cook.
Yeah. So,
That's why she has a cookbook.
Exactly.
But
well, we'll have to find out who.
would you want his underwear?
No, I'm sorry.
Would you want some?
No.
Well, there's some crazy people out there that would.
I don't need some underwear. What am I going to do with that?
I'm sure they'd be clean. But I'd want the cookbook.
Okay. All right. So Rihanna launched her makeup line called Fenty Beauty.
I like the name. Fenty.
And Fenty also is her clothing line, her sneaker line. But what's interesting about her is she came out with foundations, 40 different foundations that are from the whitest white to the darkest brown and darkest black. And it has sold out. The darker colors have sold out, and they have shocked the entire beauty industry because she's the first one who is really addressing the needs of women of color.
Yes, that has been so overdue, and there's some lines that have, but
Yeah.
honestly, that's filling a niche that is so needed. Obviously, sold out.
It's sold out. And you know what? I wrote about this, and even Amber and I talked about this. But you know, I have tried to mix different brands and mix different colors to get my color.
And make your own little concoction.
Make your own little concoction, and you know, you get tired of that. So I'm anxious to see if I can find my shade in there. But it looks like I can because all the celebrities are posting about it. Even regular women are posting about it. They're selling out. So
and then I find even the ones that are out there with dark skin or darker tones, the quality is so cakey.
Right.
And what you want
Ivy's nodding her head. Yes.
It is true. I mean, I know a little bit about makeup. I can give you a little makeup tip later, but seriously.
Yeah.
And so the quality, I think, and the need is so much needed.
It's nice to see that. So we'll, keep it up.
We need a sample for you.
I know. I've asked for that.
Ah.
All right. So it's Rihanna's beauty, Fenty Beauty at Sephora.
I'm very proud of her in
I
the
am
sense
proud of
like
her
this
too.
girl has gone into Fashion Week.
Yeah.
She went in there and blew it up, and
And she's
her
doing it.
collection was amazing.
And she's doing it on her terms.
Yes, and then the makeup line, the
Yeah.
song, and then she's becoming. Now I feel she's more evolved into a fashion icon.
And as opposed to Kanye, she actually has some fashion talent. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I sure did. I sure did. All right, moving on. Okay, this is another one from Paige. Paige, who is now in the house. Hello, Paige.
Welcome back.
This was on a woman's site, and I think it was Women's Health. And so this is interesting. So there is such a thing as a free bleeding movement.
What are you talking about, Willis?
All right. So apparently there are women who apparently there are women who want to go not have to wear a tampon. So there are period underwear. So that
Wouldn't that be like a Depends?
yeah, well, I kind of think so.
Right?
So yeah. So apparently this line called Dear Kate has a 10-piece legging collection that has a period undies in them. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't
I
know,
wouldn't
just-
think, personally, I don't know if that would be sexy if like we're about to.
No, I'm sorry. How are you saying personally? How are you saying personally?
Hey, don't go there. No, what I'm just saying, if a man, you're being intimate, that may not be a turn on.
Well, I don't think that's very. It doesn't seem like that would feel very nice and feel.
Maybe of a certain age, more mature.
No, I just don't think that's very hygienic.
Yeah, there's.
Anyway, I don't know. So we always pull out something that's
Okay.
kind of from the weird.
Would you wear one?
No,
At all?
at all.
Would you?
Amber, no.
Amber?
Ivy, Heaven.
Okay.
Everybody's like no.
No.
All right, moving on.
We'll get you some samples.
Yeah. Okay, so we always like to pull out a joyful story. Again, the joyful life is all about happy things and fashion, food, fitness, mindfulness, all kinds of empowerment. So this is a sweet video I posted on our Facebook page about these two brothers. One's name is Turner, and Turner is diagnosed with Down syndrome, and he wants to be like his big brother, Griffin. And it's this cute exchange between the two boys, and a Griffin who says, my brother has the best laugh in the world. And then at that point, little Turner turns around and hugs his brother. It is the sweetest video. Please check it out. It's on our Facebook page.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's true love.
It's true love.
That's like innocent love.
It is innocent love.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see a special needs child with a non-special needs brother and the love between them.
Yeah, that's a bond.
That's very
That's
joyful.
a true bond. Yes. Hey,
Okay.
that's
Great.
what it's about.
All right, Todd, your tip for today.
Okay. All right, ladies. When choosing a lipstick,
Oh, okay.
okay,
Okay.
you just want to remember to get one that looks good with your undertones. Okay.
What are undertones?
Your tone of your skin. It's tone of your skin.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
I'd get so dramatic with that. But if you have a warm undertone, then go with a warmer red. And if you have a cooler undertone, then go with a cooler tone.
So what?
You're a warmer. Yes.
Warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
More very fair, light skin is going to be more with the cooler. But you know,
Is
y'all
Amber
would be
warm?
Amber would be a warm as well.
Ivy's warm.
Yes, as well.
Heaven.
Heaven is right in the middle.
Is she?
Yeah,
okay.
she could.
Okay.
But I still would go with a warmer tone.
Uh-huh.
So there's your tip.
There's your tip. Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Did you know that? Okay. Yes, you see that. So
All right.
there you go.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to The Joyful Life on Amazing 102.5 FM. We'll be right back with our special guest, Amber Elliott.
I wear a lot of lipstick. I think today I'm going cool because
You
I
see, you
want
got the warm tone. She got the warm tone here.
Yes, very nice.
But
Yes.
a lot of women sometimes mess up
Yeah.
and put like that bright orangey red, and it's just like, ooh, lady, no. That's just like we're jewel tone colors.
Jewel tones. We're jewels.
Yeah, we need richer colors. We don't look good in pastels.
What do you do? What do you wear? Rich colors or pastel?
No, I don't look good in pastels. They wash me out. Like a good,
Like what? I'm talking. So you
like these are jewel tones.
Oh, you're talking about clothing now.
Yeah, I'm saying,
oh.
but even with lipstick and tones, you warmer, richer.
Did you get a haircut?
I cut weekly. I do it myself.
You do? Really? It's not hard.
No, not at all. You know how much money I save doing that? Just gonna get my arm.
All right, Amber, I want you to come closer here. And please don't touch the,
You like this one?
bump your knee up against here because you can hear it on. Do you want to? Okay, so you know what? Let me shade it. I always forget to do this. Transfer the.
Oh, look how sexy this looks.
I know.
Peekaboo.
Stop it, y'all.
So vibrant.
I need some
This
sugar
is
shorts with this.
this sugar shorts. This is funny. Hold on. Where's my front? Hold on.
You look
Amazing.
so intimate.
Thanks, I tried.
All right, I'm sharing it to our page.
That is so cool that you're got into supermodel mode.
Hardly. It was a fun day.
No, but Chris looked good with her hair parted.
She
does.
does look good with it.
I liked her outfit. It was
Yeah.
very edgy and
Yeah.
I liked it. Did you style yourself?
I had a strong hand in what I wore. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, you selected. You had a variety and then
We had a few phone calls as to what I like what things I tend to wear. And then there were like, I don't know, maybe 200 things in the room, and we went through and picked out 20 to 30 and then tried on maybe half
shot
of
it
them.
here.
Mm-hmm. At Brennan's.
Okay,
Yeah.
try that thing.
Or Brenner
Brenner,
O'Brien.
Brenner
Yeah.
O'Brien.
That had water above the bar.
Really?
Yeah, I bet it did. Because it's right down there. Yeah.
It was actually raining that day. It was on and off, and then there was thunderstorm and lightning, so that was fun. Interesting.
If you wanna share it on your Facebook page, we're live now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it on mine.
I think I didn't tag.
Do you guys want to do 2 songs or one?
Just yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And that is, yeah, we can fade it too. This is a new song by Lydia Holt.
That's fine.
Correct.
Who is this?
This is a new song. This is Miss Olivia Holt. It's called Generous.
He finds good music. He's in charge of music. All right, so Joe, we have surpassed a year.
I like your nails.
Thank you.
Yeah,
They're kind of long.
I like the
Is this
color.
from one of the designers?
Actually, it's not. There's a story behind this outfit. Because my spot to get my outfit made was called. This was made back in Nigeria where my family is from.
I love the texture and
You are
color.
Nigerian?
Yeah, I'm born and raised here in the States. My parents are in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got good skin.
You have beautiful skin. You
Yeah,
do.
you're glowy, you're gorgeous. You married?
Alright, so I should be tagged.
Great work.
Do you like this song?
It's correct. Are we all?
You've done radio before, haven't you?
I'm not in a rush.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Why you should be nervous?
Only because when I get nervous, I talk.
We all should be.
So I'm trying not to do that.
Just
When I get excited, I talk. Yeah.
We're live.
All right, I got it on my phone, on my page. We got one watcher. We need more people. Can more people watch us, please?
Well, you're talking to one person. We weren't on last week, were we? Yeah, no, we weren't. We weren't
Facebook
consistent.
Live?
We have to be a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't remember actually.
and you need to post stuff on social media. I'm tired of tagging you. You need to post. I'm sorry.
I'm getting a demerit.
I'm gonna start posting.
I'm horrible with social media.
No.
I know I
You
am.
need to start posting. I'm sorry.
It's like a full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
Damn.
But guess what? When you take
And
it on and I take it on, it becomes part-time.
And you know, Instagram,
Blah,
I can't even get, I'm having issues
I
with
put in my Instagram story.
Yeah, I'm logged out of the Instagram account. Do you have the password?
I gave it to you.
I'll have to go back in our messages.
I'm like, I have no idea.
I know you sent it to me via text. I have to just go back and reread our thread.
You logged out. How'd you log out?
I had to log out of everything because Instagram was like glitching on my phone, and it logged me out of like all of the accounts that I made.
Okay, I have to go back and look. I wrote it down somewhere, but I'll go back and look. I look really cute with the little hat on.
I do. I feel like,
I want
oh
that
my God,
jacket.
so
It's
dry.
so cute.
But thank
We
you.
need to.
I want that jacket.
Come on, we need Miss Paige. Here, everybody has to see Paige. She doesn't get to. Here's Miss Paige. Paige is our intern.
Yes, look
She's
at
a
this.
student
I love the
at
hat there.
TSU.
Love.
Just a
I
little
think it's
one
love.
too for the day.
That's a little sexy dress
Yeah,
on
thank
there.
you.
Zara.
Very
Jewel
cute
tone.
look. Very cute look. And Paige just did a wonderful interview with Melinda Spalding, who was at
Oh,
26.
yeah.
And I'm really impressed. I was really impressed with that
Thank
interview.
you.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you learned out of that?
Just always be prepared, cause like the production didn't really
Yeah.
go as planned.
It did?
No?
Yeah,
Well, first
but
time.
it
was the
came
first
out
time.
great. But it was just technical.
Just watch. Bumping.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to The Joyful Life with Joyce Owen and Todd Ramos on Amazing 102.5 FM.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm so happy that we have our special guest, Amber Elliott. Amber is a colleague of mine over at the Houston Chronicle. She covers society and love stories, which are pretty amazing. And so
I love the
I
combination.
know it's really kind of a yin yang,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Uh-huh. Hi, Amber.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome.
Or afternoon.
Yes.
Officially brunch time now.
There you go. So Amber was just recently featured in Elle magazine, the one with Rihanna on it. This
Beautiful
one.
cover.
And Amber, tell me a little bit about it.
So basically one of my girlfriends is the fashion news editor at Elle magazine. She reached out in June looking for stylish young Houstonians. So I sent over a list of names and we talked about just different women and different places in Houston that are happening right now. And she came back at the end of June and said, we don't normally do this, but would you like to be one of the women featured? In which case I panicked for about 30 seconds. And then I promptly asked our editor if it were all right. And so we got moving and I was in the I did the photo shoot maybe a week or two later.
Wow, that must have been hard to narrow down. We have a lot of stylish women in the city.
We do, and I'm kind of type
And you
A.
are too.
Yeah.
You're got a little style lady.
Today I'm trying out athleisure. We'll see how that works. But I'm very type A, so I sent over like 10 or 12 names and then photos and why I thought they might work. So for all that hard work to go down the drain. For me to be in it is
Okay, I'm going to show the picture here.
There you go.
There she is.
Look at her working that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Doing a little runway there.
Okay, so what was it like? I mean, being because now you're on the other end. You're being photographed.
Mhm.
What was that like?
I'm not ashamed to say, like, I don't like having my photo taken, so in order to get comfortable, I look at myself in the mirror a lot, or I like study like photos of myself that I like. So I have an idea of what angles work for me or how I need to hold my face so I don't look angry or crazy. And so that wasn't difficult. It's the repetition of doing the same movement over and over again to get that one shot. I may have walked in front of a window at Brenner's on the Bayou, maybe, I don't know, 60 or 70 times. Well, people are eating, and like my skirt has a huge slit like up to my thigh, and I'm like flashing them and eating and just like apologizing, like I'm so sorry, y'all. So
are you pleased with how it looks?
I'm very happy with how it looks. Yeah.
Okay, what kind of response have you gotten?
Mainly positive, mostly positive. There are always those people who are like, don't get too excited, like you're not a model. So I love those phone calls, but it's really cool to work, you know, for a newspaper and write stories every day, and then to go into a store and see yourself in one has been very humbling and something that I didn't expect to be able to do. So I'm very happy with it.
Kind of an occupational hazard too, you know, society writer, you got some style.
Oh dear. I will say, when people ask, the best part is that it's validated my shopping addiction. Like, from age 10, like I've loved clothes, and I'm like, see, it's all worth it.
What was the hardest thing?
The hardest thing about the photo shoot? It was raining on and off that day, and so I'm running in those Juvenito Rossi, like still like they're leather stiletto boots, and by the end of the day, like they were stuck to my foot. I changed a few times, but just standing in those for 4 or 5 hours, like literally running up and down stairs was not a glamorous thing.
As a stylist, I'd have been freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you can't do
It was not glamorous.
Well, everybody has to check out again. It's the new Elle. That's
October.
Oh, it's October with Rihanna on the cover. And you can see our very own Amber Elliott, along with about 4 or 5 other Houston.
Who were the other ones?
Chris Goins, who's head of retail for the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, and Araceli, who has Collectiva, this collective of different Latin and Central American designers.
Wow.
Yeah, and there are a few others. So yeah, you have to check it out.
Houston's on the map.
Okay, so let's talk top. Okay.
Let's
So
dish.
yes, so you cover society,
I do.
and you deal with some of Houston's elite,
Yes.
and some of Houston's just everyday people.
Yes.
What is the big challenge in covering something like that? Because people think that society. I mean, when they say society, if you're not in society, they probably think it's very frivolous.
I think that the challenge with society is that most of the people who are actually philanthropic, who are writing the big checks, who care about really reaching other Houstonians, don't like the term society because it implies that these are women and men who just like putting on tuxedos and ball gowns and, you know, drinking on the weekends, when really some of them, I mean, they spend their entire lives trying to put funds and resources to where it's going to serve Houstonians the most. So I think that's the biggest misconception. But on the other side of the coin, there are a lot of people who want to be in society and be part of that world because it's about, you know, being photographed and, you know, going to parties at the right person's house. And so trying to go between those two things is sometimes difficult to navigate.
What has been your favorite event to cover?
I hate that question.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Everybody wants to know.
Yeah, spill it.
So my favorite events to attend, I really do like the Houston Grand Opera Ball because it's one of the only white tie events in town, and so it's really fun to wear the ball gown and to see the men in tails and do that whole thing.
Okay, so tell everybody what white tie as opposed to black tie.
So white tie is when men wear a tuxedo, but it also has like the very formal penguin tails, and they wear a white cummerbund and a white vest. And if they really go for it, and I encourage this, they wear white gloves too. And women wear ball gowns. This
Sounds
is
like
not
a debutante ball.
Right? Sounds a little stuffy.
with 40, 50, and 6-year-olds and me. But yes, so I do love that because I like extremes. It's very rare to be able to dress up like that, and so I enjoy that. But I also like, on the other side of the coin, it doesn't have to be fancy to be meaningful. I think every year the Fifth Ward Enrichment Program has a beautiful, touching breakfast at the Junior League of Houston that's very well attended. Laura and John Arnold go, the mayor comes, it's very intimate, maybe 50 or 60 people, but to hear young men talk about why it means so much to them, maybe we aren't raising $3 and $4 million, but the men who are in that room really depend on the services that are provided, and so that can mean more than going to Saks or whatever and spending $10,000 on a Carolina Herrera.
And that's just it. How do you deal with the looks and all these events?
Because you have to.
Can you afford it?
I work at the Chronicle. They don't give you a budget.
Yeah.
So
it isn't like you can borrow the clothes and take them back.
Maybe. I don't know.
Not if you're like aspiring and
Yes.
stuff and fragrance. Oh
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Luckily I like the hunt. Like I don't get the same thrill, not that I could ever afford it anyways, but like skipping into a store and dropping, 4 figures on a dress, I like the hunt of, I buy things on eBay. I like More Than You Can Imagine or Couture Depot is down the street from my house, unfortunately. And I like going and finding, I found a Valentino gown at TJ Maxx on Richmond for last year's Museum of Fine Arts, it's a Degas ball, so it was all ballet and dancer themed, and I found the most beautiful pale pink Valentino gown, $99 at TJ Maxx, and like that was like a runaway hit of the night. I'm like, y'all, this is more than you spend on brunch.
Oh, wow.
But I like the hunt, and also I like vintage because there's less of a risk of walking into a party and someone else having the same thing that you're wearing.
Have you seen that? Have you been into a party?
Yes.
With your outfit?
No. With you walk in and you see 2 different
socialites.
Yeah.
With the same dress.
There was an
That's a faux pas.
event last year, maybe ballet ball, where 2 women had on like a citrine marquesa. And so, it's a very bright color, and to have 2 women trying to avoid each other all night, that was fun. That was fun to watch.
I would love to see who wore best.
Yes, exactly.
There's a little bit of that.
Do you have to be concerned about, like, if you were too critical about an event or something like that, any kind of backlash?
I think when I first started covering my beat, I was concerned about that because you don't want to isolate people. You don't want them to be afraid to let you in, and I'm not out to get anyone. It's not it's not a takedown type of beat that I work on, but I feel an obligation as a reporter to report on the story as it happens. And so sometimes I've been asked, like, please don't write this or say this, and I'm thinking, but if it's news and it happens, like I will always argue to include something in the story if I think it's relevant and something that people need to know.
Have you seen anything crazy? Like, oh my God.
Yes. I'm trying to think. I saw a lot during the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I think we all saw a lot during the Super Bowl.
And what was it that we saw?
I think one of the biggest ones, I was allowed into a party that, oh my God, what's Jenny McCarthy's husband's name? Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes.
So they let me
by the way, he didn't care for the city.
He did not love me after this party, but they let me in, and I was only supposed to walk around with the publicist, and the publicist left me alone in this party. And I guess everyone assumed that I was gone, and so Donnie got up on the mic and started railing on Houston a little bit. And I'm thinking, you were getting paid to make an appearance, and you're talking bad about my city. That's not going to fly, and shame on your publicist. So that was one of those moments where I sped home at 1 a.m. and put the story up. One of my colleagues has always said, ask for forgiveness instead of permission. And when it comes to reporting, I think that comes into play a lot. So I'm glad I wrote that story. Sorry, not sorry.
There was a lot of stories, Super Bowl.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Every now and then I'm allowed to kind of sneak into one of these events. And this is a while back, but I remember, and it might have been UNCF or I can't remember, but it was a gala with Erykah Badu, and she was performing, and which was fantastic. And she had a stage with a band, and she was doing a slow song, and a society couple got up on her stage and started slow dancing. And she stopped the band and told them, this is not Soul Train.
Oh! Sorry.
I love that.
She's like, this is my stage. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, but that's actually a little presumptuous, especially she's an artist. Yeah. This is like you're in her zone.
Yeah. So So you've seen a lot of these events. They bring in key artists, right?
They do.
Which one has been your favorite?
Oh wow. I think it was last year, Best Buddies, which is a foundation for young adults with disabilities, brought in. They always have a celeb.
I produced that.
Oh yeah!
I produced that.
They brought in Kevin Spacey, and that was like at the height of my House of Cards mania. Kevin Spacey is a hoot. He does not care. He's not putting on airs. Like he does. I like people who are unfiltered, and he did not disappoint.
Okay.
House of Cards.
Yes.
Love him.
Yeah, he's great.
He should have won an Emmy.
Exactly.
He really should have.
Okay, let's talk about love. So you also cover love stories, and those also run on Sundays.
They do.
Now tell me, what are you looking for in a love story?
I like a good backstory. I think people always assume that with weddings, it's about who did the dress and how much did you spend on centerpieces, and I don't care about any of that. I want to know, I want to know how you met. I want to know what obstacles you overcame. I want to know what you love about your partner. I want to get to the story and less about the stuff.
What's been your favorite love story?
I have two. So I did Adrian and Harrison.
I love this one. Yeah.
They had one of the most over-the-top weddings that I've seen in a while, but more importantly, the story behind it, how they met, one of them was pledging for a fraternity in college, and they've been together for such a long time. I loved covering them, and then there was a young couple, a young woman who fell from a tree in on her family's property, and she severed something in her spine, and she ended up breaking her back. And the way that her boyfriend asked her to prom, his promposal, was really touching, and it ended up being my first front page story. But again, everyone asked them about, the tuxedo and prom night, but I'm like, how did you meet? Like, how did you fall? I like the story behind the story.
So, what about your own love life?
Oh, dear.
Oh, girl, you had to go there, didn't you?
I knew this was coming.
So, are you looking? Are you in love?
I just broke up with my boyfriend about 3 weeks ago. Okay. So I'm single, dating, talking. Is that the new?
Yes. Talking. We're talking.
Oh dear.
How did you get into writing love stories? I mean,
my editor told me I needed to.
That was just an assignment.
I think what was said was, our editor-in-chief wants us to cover weddings, and I think you're the person to do it. I'm like, I do not know what I'm putting on that says you should cover weddings, but I really enjoy doing it, so I'm happy that I was asked to do so.
Okay.
It gets a bad rap sometimes, the wedding and its cheesiness and.
But I like the love story. I like being not just wedding, but the story
not
behind.
The wedding.
Yes,
yeah.
The story behind.
People when they want to rattle off the vendors, I'm like, this is not that thing.
Yeah.
It's about the story, which is a fun and interesting way to cover it, I think.
Exactly. Okay, last question. What brings you joy? Okay, that's too long of a pause. Okay, that's too.
Right now,
I think this is a joyful life.
I think my fulfillment right now comes from, in this single season, I really lean on my church and my church family and those quiet moments that I have in prayer and just talking to God. I think that right now gives me a content that I didn't anticipate I would find at almost 32.
Wow, that's a good answer. She
Very
did think about that.
Very good answer. All right.
My pageant ring.
Thank you so much, Amber. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, thank you. We need you back.
Yeah, we're going to have you back. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we have Ivy Okoro with African Fashion Week Houston. All right, cool. Yeah, you did great.
I got so fast.
I did so fast. All right,
We just sit
gotta
there,
take a quick picture.
I produced a Best Buddies fashion show.
Okay.
They had 2 events. I didn't do that one. I was like, oh shoot, didn't even say
I
that.
didn't know if you.
And we're gonna take it in front of the backdrop. Oh, go ahead.
I want to be the jam and the jelly roll.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my phone.
You know what? I loved Will Downey until I interviewed him.
Oh, I like his vibe.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay, all right.
This is his new album.
Yeah.
And do you mind if I get another one since I leave?
Yeah.
What's your favorite side to take pictures?
I have to be. See, I can't. I'm not good on the side. I have to be frontal.
Really?
I cannot do angle.
I hate frontal.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, her iPad.
On my iPad. Gosh, those nails are awesome.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. 1. Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Amber. You can switch. You can stay. Okay, you can stay.
Oh yeah, totally. You're better.
Ivy, you're over here. Okie dokie. That looks nice. That top is bright. Oh, my eyes are closed. I'm good for closing my eyes. Okay. God, my hair's all.
That photographs well.
It does.
For you.
Oh, look. So I had a friend, her dog passed, and so she gave me all her little handkerchiefs for her dog. You know, isn't that cute? Very cute.
Oh.
Oh. All right.
We're gonna fade this song and fade into the other one.
Oh, yeah, you can fade. Yeah, we have one more song. Yeah, you can take it.
Oh, I love this next song. TLC.
Oh, my friends. Hey, Gayla and Jerry, they're in Atlanta listening to the Joyful Life. Hello.
Shout out Atlanta.
Shout out Atlanta. That's great. I love that. Maybe I don't know if they're on Facebook Live, so I'll give them a shout out when we come back on here.
Like, hey.
How long is the next song?
Do you have to leave now?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave before y'all come back.
Okay, I want to tell you real quick. So
Okay.
I watched your interview. A couple of things I thought you did a really good job.
This is a great
Couple
song.
of things. Don't touch your hair.
Okay.
Okay? Don't touch your hair. Just try the interview. Because women play with their hair and it takes away from the message. And it makes it seem like you're just very
Look at you.
superficial. You know what I mean? It's very airheadish.
Oh.
Okay? So don't touch your hair. Just do not touch your hair.
Okay.
Okay? And just make sure it's when you start the interview that it's out of your face. And just, you know what I mean? Right?
You break the concentration on the interview.
And it just becomes like
Distracting.
And it's a superficial kind of like
Yeah, like
Like
me.
me.
Okay.
It's construction.
And then your interview, you have your hands up here. Bring them down to your lap. Okay? This is too strong. I thought when you were talking to her, because she was the power. You know what I mean? And the power, you brought it here and just put your hands down.
Body language.
It's a body language thing. And so like when you're talking, you can talk and you can talk with her. Like just watch 60 Minutes or people who do interviews, or even like Gail or somebody, Okoro, people who do these interviews, and watch their hand movement. Okay, they keep them kind of down here, and there's not a whole lot of this.
I'm very gesturing on my
You're
hands.
expressive.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm that way
You
too.
did a little bit, and I like the fact that
Passion.
your language, you became more, a lot of young people have a tendency to talk real slang, real loose,
Real comfortable.
on air, as if they were talking with their friends. You didn't do that, which is good. Keep that up.
Yeah, I try to be really professional.
Yeah, real
Especially her.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if, a lot of times, even just doing interviews, I don't cross my legs.
Great mix.
Okay? Because a lot of
TLC.
times when you cross your legs,
It's called It's Sunny.
it restricts your
energy.
ability to kind of lean in.
Is it a,
And lean in means you're engaged.
oh, it's a,
When you cross your legs, you end up, your body language is back.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that when I was
You need to sit on the edge of your seat.
Okay.
Always sit on the edge of your seat and keep your legs down here. And your hands can be like here. But you're always leaning into your ear. Engaging.
Got it.
Because you all had a table between you, and so you were far apart. I would have removed that table and put you all closer together.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't like how the production
Yeah.
was.
You were like this far. Like,
It just didn't see, it seemed so. I always sit on the edge of the seat and lean a little bit. Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. No, but you did a really good
Thank
job.
you so much.
I was like, oh, look at our page.
Thank you. I appreciate
And then you're gonna-
it.
And her hair was all done. I was like, oh God.
All professional.
Let's try.
Back to you, Joy.
Yes. Yeah, we met before, when I interned at Fox.
Yeah.
And
You got a few seconds.
But let me get out of here before the radio.
All right. Thank you.
I'll see y'all later.
Okay. Bye. Okay, bye.
Eat something.
Make sure you speak into the mic. Sorry. Make sure you speak into the mic right here.
into the mic. Okay.
Okoro.
Okoro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Joyful Life with Joy Sewing and Todd Ramos on Amazing 102.5 FM.
You know, it's been a great show. We had a wonderful interview with Amber Elliott from the Houston Chronicle, the Society and Love story writer, and now we have Miss Ivy Okoro.
Okoro.
It's just a powerful name, like
Yes.
Okoro. And she is the Communications and PR Director for African Fashion Week Houston.
Welcome.
Welcome. And
Thank
yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so African Fashion Week is happening here in Houston. Tell us a little bit about it. What is it?
Yeah, so African Fashion Week Houston is our premier cultural fashion series in the greater Houston area that highlights on the elegance and beauty of African culture and African-inspired influences on the runway. We've been doing this Fashion Week series for 4 consecutive years now, and this is expected to be our largest and our biggest Fashion Week series to date.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
How many designers?
Well, we have between the 2 major runway shows, the one that we had yesterday and then the one coming up tomorrow at Houston Art Studio, we have about 12 to 13 different designers. So a great variety, a great mixture in all different types of places.
And all of them from Houston?
Actually, most of them are from different areas around the world.
Okay.
You know, yeah, primarily a lot of them are based in here in the greater Houston area, but they do reside in other places as well. We have some people visiting from out of town, like some of our colleagues are coming in from the Dallas area. So, and then we have colleagues coming in from out of town and out of the country as well.
So does this represent all parts of Africa, or is it a certain region, or what are we talking about?
Well, it is represents all of the African continent and also throughout the diaspora, because I think a lot of people may not realize that as you know, people migrate. You know, you start to see influences like, you know, maybe for example in the Brazilian culture they have influences of Yoruba, which is one of the native languages in the Nigerian region, and you know, you kind of see how they play on their ancestry and everything like that. So,
well, you know what? I love African fashion. I love what she has on, and she said
The fabrics, the textures.
the colors. They're really beautiful.
The design.
But I think a lot of people think that African fashions are only for Africans,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not for mainstream. Other outside of people of color. But there are people who outside wear this, right?
Absolutely. African fashion can be worn by anyone. I think what's important to know though is that there's a story behind everything that you wear.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a certain print or a certain logo may represent an area or region that someone is from, or some type of symbolism of a ceremony or tradition within that culture. Mm-hmm. So I love that I see so many people embracing African fashion and they're wearing it, and I love seeing people throughout, you know, the Houston area, no matter what their background is, embracing it so much. But one thing I always encourage everyone to do is, hey, find out a little bit more about what you're wearing and what it represents and where it comes from.
How do you narrow down picking these designers?
Oh yeah, we have a team that takes their time to kind of look through, you know, all the entries that we receive. You know, we're looking for designers that think outside the box. We look for designers that have potential to take it to the next level. And one thing that we do at African Fashion Week Houston is that we try to make sure that we don't limit anyone's opportunities. So even if they are an established designer like TK Designs, or they're an up-and-coming designer like Emma Couture, we want to make sure that you have that thing in there that is going to excite someone, because that's what makes African fashion so exciting. You know, the vibrancy, the colors, the symbolism, and just the richness and heritage of it all.
Now, when celebrities like Beyonce or someone else wears an African print from an African designer or something that kind of resembles that, is that looked upon as something great or not?
I think it's all on, based upon the perception of the consumer or the audience in question. You know, I know often that word cultural appropriation is thrown around and everything.
Use that word.
It's definitely thrown around, but I definitely know that ultimately when you wear fashion because it inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
You love what you see, and I don't think that intentionally most people are looking to abuse it. So, and I know for a fact that Beyonce is definitely someone that on a regular basis, she does her research. If she's wearing it, she's trying to tell you
When
something.
Beyonce wears something,
Yes.
look at the kimono.
Yeah.
The kimono phase she wore at the basketball, it's $20,000 kimono, and kimonos are everywhere.
Yes, absolutely, Todd.
But you're right. She has a message behind it. She's not just wearing it just to be wearing it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Okay, so there is a fashion show tonight. Right?
Actually, the fashion show took place last night.
Oh, I missed it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
But
no,
there is one tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But we do have a festival going on in partnership
wow.
with Houston Elite called the Love My Neighbor Festival, taking place right now at the Budweiser Brewery.
Okay.
And that will be going on
I
from
like
now.
the name. Love My Festival.
Love My Neighbor Community Festival, and that's being put on in
nice.
partnership with Houston Elite right now at the Budweiser Brewery until 8 p.m. And they do have a variety of different types of performances and showcases, and we have a lot of people out there just hanging out and probably wearing their nice, Okoro print dresses and enjoying the sunshine and everything.
What is all in the what does the festival have? Do they have markets or?
Oh yeah, they have marketplaces. So like for those of you that are into like African fashion or accessories or anything of that nature, you can definitely go and check it out. We'll have a lot of vendors out there today.
Is there a fee?
There is just $10 and there's free parking and free beverages courtesy of Budweiser.
And how did somebody get the information?
They can actually go to our website, www.afwhouston.com. You can also go on Eventbrite and search Love My Neighbor Community Festival.
Okay, and so tomorrow night is the big fashion show. So I have to say something. I went last year, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but I took my brother with me, and we walked. As we were walking in, I saw these women and men in the most beautiful prints that I had ever seen, and they were walking in, and I looked at my brother. I said, "You know what? We probably should have worn something different."
you felt underdressed.
And so then we get there, and I was just blown away. One, there was entertainment. There was a wonderful woman who was from Texas Southern, who was a beauty queen.
Right,
And
that's
she,
right.
yes,
I remember, yeah.
she was hosting, and there was a comedian he was a Nigerian comedian. He was hilarious.
Right.
And then they had all these different designers showing, and it was just amazing. I was blown away.
How many people attend?
We would have to say probably on average a good up to 400 guests at that fashion show last year. And then throughout the week overall, very close to 1,000 patrons that we usually service every single year. And so so far we've had like a big showing at our fashion show last night. And then we're expecting even more tomorrow.
Okay, so tomorrow's fashion show, if somebody wanted to attend, how much are the tickets and where do they find them?
Okay, so I understand that our VIP tickets are sold out online.
Yes,
but we do still have general admission tickets available for just $40, and all you have to do is go online to www.afwhouston.com, or you can even search on Eventbrite African Fashion Week Houston.
And it starts at what time?
Red carpet starts at 4 p.m. Showtime is at 5 p.m. Now I will add that we do have a marketplace that we will set up beginning at 2 p.m.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so are there any designers that are really you're excited to see tomorrow?
Absolutely. So I'm really excited for one of my dear friends. Her name is Julie Ihe. She is
Julie what?
Julie, and her last name is Ihe.
Ihe.
Yeah, she has a beautiful collection called Imma Couture, and to kind of let you guys know a little secret, she actually got to style the mayor's daughter, Ashley Turner, who will be attending tomorrow.
Ashley will be there.
Ashley will be there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so she just has this very awesome approach when it comes to, just making gowns and making you feel regal like royalty. But then what's also amazing about Imma Couture is that she knows how to really style to the bodice as well. Okay. So I'm really excited about her. We're also excited to have Rocky Boston as well. Rocky Boston just does some amazing like cuts and prints and cute dresses, all different types of like spring wear, and she's amazing. And then we're also looking forward to having House of Takora, Kachi Designs, PR Customs, Adara, and then also the Art Institute of Houston. We have a partnership with them called Project AI. So every single year we actually donate fabric to the school, and their fashion students actually design custom wear African attire. And then they participate in the contest in which the executives from both the Art Institute of Houston and African Fashion Week select the top 10 designers. So some of their designs were presented last night, and the other half of the designs will be presented tomorrow.
This is fantastic.
Is this more for women? Do you have men and designers?
Oh, we definitely have men as well too.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely do. So we try to make sure that we have a little bit of something for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, so again, it's African Fashion Week Houston, and the fashion show is the Fosse Fashion.
Oh yeah, Fauché.
Fauché.
Yeah,
Fauché.
Fauché Kotoko.
Tricky
Oh yeah,
one.
and that stands for Flawless Signature Essence. So Fauché Kotoko Fashion Show.
And it starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Red carpet is at 4. You can get your tickets at
8fwhouston.com or on Eventbrite.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Ivy. This is fantastic.
Yes.
I look forward to the show tomorrow. Thank you for coming in.
Thank
you look
you.
beautiful.
You are gorgeous.
She has a beautiful, you can't see it, it's yellow and blue and turquoise and brown, and it's fantastic.
Love
So,
the texture and
yes.
pattern. You're
Yeah.
beautiful.
We'll take a quick break and be right back. Thank you, Ivy. That was great. Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you for having me.
You were on it, girl.
Yes. So it's only been 4 years?
It's only been 4 years. Yeah, but I feel like our momentum has really picked up in the past
Yeah.
2 years, definitely.
I thought you all did. I mean, I thought it was organized. Now,
She's not coming this year.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're on Facebook Live.
she's not coming.
Facebook Live.
But I know. What?
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
I know. Okay, I turned it. Did anyone hear me?
I don't think.
Well, we know that you can hog a mic. So, yeah. All right. We're almost done, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole song.
Okay.
Um,
All right. What else is coming up? You know what? We didn't talk about Oscar. That's all right.
that was history.
Yeah, the Oscars.
Some history was made with Oscars.
Well, no.
I mean, the Emmys.
We didn't talk about
We
Emmys.
didn't-
Oh, it
We
doesn't
can talk
matter.
about Emmys real quickly. No, I was talking about the Oscar. Yeah, that's
Oscar.
coming up. Because I wanted to talk about what you were looking forward to this season, and we never got to talk about
Oh,
it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I ordered a vintage Oscar gown.
I know.
Oh,
you
yeah.
told me that. You told me that. Yes.
I'm so excited.
I love more than you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's-
I'm not shopping now because everything's going to my house. But yeah, I love more than you can imagine too.
Vicky, she's cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only resale where new and old is there. And I mean, and some of these women just wear that dress once and then, go
But I
and
like Couture Depot too on Sugar Beach.
Blowout.
Oh, Couture Blowout.
Blowout.
Okay.
Yeah. You know that one on Shepherd?
Okay, we have 3 minutes, so I'm gonna fade this.
Okay.
Ready?
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to The Joyful Life with Joy Sewing and Todd Ramos on Amazing 102.5 FM.
Okay, we had a wonderful conversation with Miss Ivy Okoro of African Fashion Week Houston.
Some great talent.
Yes, talking about beautiful fabrics and designs. And speaking of fashion, we never got a chance to talk about the Emmys. We did I covered the Emmys from the newsroom last Sunday. And what did you think about the fashion?
It was, the fashion, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Nothing was like wowing for me.
But no, I would have to say Yara Ashidi's dress was a Prada dress, and she's on the show Blackish, and it was a beautiful caramel color with, I think it was green little appliques of.
Oh, yeah.
It was
pretty.
It was beautiful.
I don't know about Miss Ross's outfit though. I didn't think it was body proportioned for her.
Tracy Ellis Ross wore a silver Chanel with some feathers at the bottom.
Ostrich feathers in the bottom.
Yeah.
That was kind of maybe a miss for me.
Yeah, I think.
But what I was most enthralled with was the history that was made on who won.
Yeah.
There was a lot of diversity with the minorities who finally got up and got an Oscar.
That's true.
Which was pretty cool.
That's true. That is true. So, speaking of what's going on, how about this week? What's going on?
This week,
Yeah, come out.
my fashion show with the Women's Hospital of Texas, benefiting the March of Dimes. It's my 14th year.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's an awesome event. It's sold out already.
And Amber will be there.
Yes.
All right, and coming up we have the Dave Cause.
Yes, we have the Dave Cause Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Then the Jonathan Sprinkle Show from 5 to 6. And The Gossiping Heifers from 6 to 7.
Again, join us back here at noon on Saturday for the Joyful Life on Amazing 102.5 FM.
Have a joyful week, everyone.
Oh,
Mwah.
okay.